Welcome to Willow Talk. Adam Peacock, Brad Haddin in the studio today. Lisa Healy is being a cricketer, which is fair enough. Women's Big Bash, semi-final week, finals week. Sydney Rain could get them straight through to the final, but we'll wait to see what happens with that. Hads, how are you?
Mate, I couldn't be more excited. We're 2-0 up. England, where are they, actually? Are they training? Where are they?
Noosa.
Noosa?
Yeah, Australia Zoo.
Really?
Yeah.
On the beaches, good golf courses.
Checking out the Crocs.
No, I couldn't be more happier. I absolutely loved the way the second test finished. I thought Archer was quick. He was quick. He was aggressive. He was in the contest. For his 2 overs, he forgot about the first 2 test matches, but...
I don't know, there was a punchline coming.
Mate, what about the skipper? Oh, that got me excited. And when we interviewed him after the game, I haven't seen him that animated for a long time. Even the left-handed catch, he sort of catches it and gives a little shoulder shrug, throws the ball to square leg. But, mate, he was in the contest. His captaincy was on point, and that was topped off by... He took a while to set a field at one stage. He put 3 out. He put a 4th out on the leg side. Then he moved himself just in front of the square leg umpire. The ball went straight to him.
Ballooned to him.
Oh, mate.
Like, not even went straight to him. Like, he could have, done a soccer, chest down and then taken
And that's when he's at his best. But I've played with Steve Smith a lot. I've seen him play for a long time. Oh, do not engage that kid in the contest, and that's exactly what England have done.
We've got Travis Head joining us shortly on Willow Talk, so we'll ask him about that and plenty else ahead of his home test. He's looking forward to his home test.
Well, there's 100. Mate, I'll tell you what, though. They normally roll out the red carpet for Trav. Everyone comes from out the back and poles into normally on the hill, the most of the supporters following Trav. But he's a true entertainer. But I tell you what, they're going to want Alex Carey too after his performance. Who's going to be number 1 picking this week at Adelaide, Alex or Trav?
I think, as you know, wicketkeepers tend to go under the radar. The flashy bat always gets the attention. You never know if Alex goes
When are we allowed to talk about it? The producer says to me, you got to wait. Can we get it out? Can we just...
Okay, go.
That was wicket-keeping porn. That was as good as I've seen any wicket-keeper. And the reason it was is, mate, how brave he was. And he sort of went unnoticed with how good he was. Like, it was a great test match and everyone had high praise. But he did the nearly impossible up to the stumps easy. And the best example I have of that is when the ball hit the pad, deviated, 135 Ks, he just got it in the middle of his glove, shaped to take the bails off. No, his foot's in, lobbed it to slip. I was speechless. Like, everyone said, oh, good take. I'm going, that's near impossible to do. So a shout out to Alex Carey. And I know every ex-Australian wicketkeeper was in awe of you last week.
So when you are keeping up to the stumps, and I asked Heels a similar question early in the week, and I'll ask you the same one because you've done it all your life, what exactly do you need to get right? Because you'll get a couple of blind ones that go down the leg side. And how are you judging where to put your hands? Are you doing it essentially as soon as it comes out of the hand of the bowler, or you're reacting to where it pitches?
Well, you're getting cues all the way down. You get a cue from where the bowler lets go of the ball from. Then you got to pick the length, and then as you get all the cues, you quickly got to make a decision. And that's the one thing Alex was just like spot on. And in commentary, you talked a lot about, the keeper's gone up because there's cracks in the wicket. The batters are a bit nervous where the ball's going to bounce. Alex Carey was up to the stumps. Like,
Same position.
There's a ball that could hit and it goes steep up and hit you in the head. You got a tendency when you're up to the stumps there to move your head away from the line of the ball because it's just self-preservation. But, mate, Alex Carey, well done. I couldn't be happier. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. You recover okay from Brisbane, by the way? I haven't seen you since. I departed there on Sunday. You all good?
Mate, I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
all
I'm good.
was a good couple of days. By the way, we've got a special episode coming with Adam Gilchrist, which we filmed and recorded up in Brisbane. So we're talking about wicketkeepers. The chat continues. It's in depth about wicketkeeping. Obviously, he handed the baggy green wicketkeeping job to you, and we'll go through that. And we might mention tequila as well, because Gilly's out there pushing his tequila, which I can say, I can vouch for it. The bottle hasn't survived. Didn't get back to Sydney, so...
Well, I won't talk about it yet. I'll wait till Healy is here.
Okay.
But we've had a lot of DMs, a lot of messages coming through about how Adam can improve on tour.
Okay. Yeah.
What I will say is, I'll take a quote from Dumb and Dumber. He has totally redeemed himself.
Thanks.
But I'm not going to give any more away. I'll wait till Healy is here. So the only thing I will say is involved a stop sign in his room.
We're going to look at the latest Ashes news later after Trav, when we talk to him and the makeup of the Australian lineup. The BBL starts this weekend as well.
Wait.
So we'll talk about that. Please remember to follow us on Apple, Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us out a lot. If you leave a review, comment, we would love to hear your feedback. We're almost at 100K on Instagram. And as soon as we get there, we have a Grey Nick scoop bat to give away. So make sure you follow us on Insta to have a chance of winning that particular piece of timber. Now, Steed has commented on Spotify and said thoughts on Stokes, saying a dressing room that I'm captain of isn't a place for weak men.
Yeah.
That's not a flippant comment. That's directed at someone or some people. Surely. You don't say those things.
Well, what he's done there, he's called out his team. And basically said, in that change room, I have the feeling that people aren't aiming up when they need to. And what he's got to do there, those comments are fine for the captain to make. Is it his style of captaincy that's making those decisions happen? Is it the coach? Is it the playing group? That sort of comment thrown out after a test match, and it can be emotional time, but he was pretty strong in his words, and he doubled down on those comments in the presser as well. So there's some questions that you need to answer in that change room. I found it, if I'm honest, what Archer did, hard to take. I know going back into a change room after that, I would have to say, mate, what's going on? Like where was that in the first innings? Yes, you had a short period of time to bowl. The game's over.
Wouldn't you have said that, though, after the first innings when his speeds weren't up, rather than wait for him to get the speeds up? Because if he doesn't get the speeds up against Steve Smith and bowls 135 again, it's like you're still having that conversation. So why wouldn't you have that conversation after the first innings?
Well, you could have but that might have been what they expected from him. That might have been the way he's going to bowl through the series. But you can't do that. You can't. Like I've played like Mitchell Johnson, for example. We talk about his series in 13-14, mate, he was quick the whole time.
The speeds did not drop?
No, it did not drop. He was intimidating the whole time, no matter whether it was day 1, 3, 90 overs, 70 overs. And, yeah, so going back, Stokes' comments are strong. But Brendan McCullum's comments were interesting as well.
He over-prepared them.
So I don't know how that happens in the modern game, because there was a lot of talk at the start of the tour about their preparation, about not playing tour games. And I can understand that in the modern game, because you can get that intensity and your match practice from trainings. But he also said, we've planned 4 years for this. This plan is not just this week. It's been a process. And so if you've overtrained them, that's on the coaching staff. Like, if that's what you feel, you grab your leaders together, your staff, and you plan training. If you can feel it going down that track, you're not playing a flippant series. This is the Ashes that they've planned for a long time. And another comment starts me to get me a bit worried about what's going on behind the scenes is Trescothick said, I know we haven't spoken about playing the ball on the up. Like, that's the first thing you speak about when you go to Perth and Brisbane. Yeah, it'll be different in Adelaide and on day 2, 3 and 4 when the wicket's flat. But there seems to be a bit of a disconnect between, at the moment, I think, the staff and what Ben Stokes' message is.
Well, yeah, the Trescothic one, firstly on that is essentially like saying, coming to Australia to face Shane Warne at the SCG, not talking about the possibility of a flipper coming your way.
Yeah.
Like that the McCullum one, reading into it and the timing of it, that felt like a throw-off. Focus everything on me. Managers do it all the time in football. Managers do it. Coaches do it all the time in other sports. That felt like I'm going to say something that might sound ridiculous, put it out there so it takes the heat away from what the hell is going on with Ben Duckett, for instance, or what the hell is going on with some of our bowling in second and third.
Well, whatever his motivation around it was, that it doesn't make sense from a coaching point of view because you control. You control your training sessions, and they had extra days to plan it. They had 3 extra days to plan it. You plan so your team is peaking at the right time. You don't want to come at the end of the second test where you're 1-0 down saying I got my training wrong.
Well, you look at their planning then, one on that. Okay, they know the schedule comes out and they're going to Brisbane to play a pink ball test at the Gabba.
Yeah.
So why would you accept as a touring team to play a pink ball game in the middle on a totally different deck at Manuka? All the talk was, there's no point in going there, because I was sitting there watching, as you know, as you were as well, but a lot at ground level, they weren't picking the ball up. They couldn't see the ball in the field, for instance. That surely is part of preparation?
It is, but they did send players there. Like, they did send 3 players down.
Bethel and 2 bowlers.
Yeah, to play in that game.
Yeah.
So what they were saying is that their preparation with the rest of their squad, they were comfortable with. And that happens. Like, that PM's game, the guys that needed match practice obviously got it, and they were confident in their preparation leading into that test that they were going to get it right, and they'd planned for that. That wasn't a decision not to play that game made at the last minute.
Perth.
As they said at the start, we've been planning for this for a long time. That just takes me back to those comments, which it doesn't make sense. You can't miss your preparation when you're down. If that is the case, you've overstimulated them, then you pull it back.
Yeah.
You don't let them go and get to the point where you sacrifice a test match because you prep.
Well, but the point I was trying to make is that they might have over-prepared, under-prepared, whatever, but misprepared. That was the point I'm getting at. Like, a conditions-based preparation, surely in cricket, is huge because conditions vary. Anyway, it's their problem.
Well, preparation-wise, I'm surprised they didn't prepare at the Wacker. I don't know whether there might have been a Shield game on, but mate, if
not 2 days before there was Barmy Army v the Australian fans.
Well, they had the nets at the Perth Stadium.
At Optus,
Like, even to play the game at Lilac Hill, like, if I was England, I'd be demanding, and a long time out, as they said, they're planned for a long time, that you had the Wacker. It's a unique venue to play at, that sort of bounce, and that was shown.
12 months beforehand, India prepared at the Wacker.
Yep.
Didn't they?
Yep.
And look what happened in that Perth test. Anyway, England, and all this chat about Noosa and everything, I get it. I get the fact that you need to go. Like, if it was Australia 2-0 down and there was 9 days in between test matches in England on an Ashes tour, I'm pretty sure they'd be going to Scotland for 3 days to play golf. That probably would be on the radar. They wouldn't be all sitting around going, we've got to do net. We've got to have net sessions for the next 9 days. So I get the fact that
all that was planned years in advance. Well, once the schedule comes out, you need to have some downtime. The only reason it's coming under fire at the moment is
that 2-0 down.
Well, 2-0 down, but also the messages from the captain and the coach are different. And I think it's the first time in the Stokes-McCullum era where they haven't been, I think, exactly on the same page.
Michael said on our YouTube, we kind of got off track there. This is where we just quickly go through some comments and things like that and then get on with things, but love the intent. The top of the order there from Haddin.
Moving the game forward.
Michael said on our YouTube channel.
Playing no accountability.
Over this one. A smart bunch of entrepreneurs needed for Adelaide. Champion, written on about 50 pillows. Part of the crowd would be priceless.
It'll be there.
It'll be there.
It'll be there. What about that? Look, though, I'm going to go off topic again. What about walking in with your pillow?
We mentioned it with heels. Just give it to a support staff or put it in your bag. I get it, having a snooze in the change room if your batters are out
Or
there.
you could go another way.
Yeah.
Look at the lengths Australia are bowling.
That's a very good point. Or dream about them. Flick us a message, by the way. If you're in Adelaide, around the area, come into the test match, bring your club cricket hats, and we will wear them on our show, on our daily wraps as well. Hit up Willow Talk podcast on Instagram for that. For now, though, we're going to get to Travis Head, and these chats, thanks to Instant Tinting. Keep your cool this summer. Instant Tinting's got you covered. Visit instanttinting.com.au. Here's Travis Head. Trav, great to catch up again. We haven't seen you since before the first test, so here on Willow Talk, that is. Things have gone to plan. Is it fair to say?
Yeah, scoreline's gone to plan, which is good. I wouldn't say Perth was full to plan, but nice to be in a position where we are going to the third test. I felt like we've played some really good cricket. We've won some really big moments, and at the same time, we've put under a lot of pressure. So, but nice feeling coming to Adelaide with a chance and having a good week.
Trav, I want to take you back to Perth. In my whole time of watching cricket, I actually haven't seen anything like what you did in Perth, just to single-handedly take a test match away from the opposition. But what I want to know is how that moment came about that you opening. And the second part of the question is, there seems to be a moment in your innings, you get to about 15 balls, 20, looks like you're not too worried about the runs. And then it looks like you can hit the ball wherever you want to hit the ball. Like, what goes through your head there?
I think the opening part, we've been through it a fair bit over the last couple of weeks. I think it's just a good moment. We've been talking about it for a while. I felt like, it was a nice positive approach to try and win a game of cricket with needing 200. And I've always, put my name forward to sort of do the job. And I felt like with Marn at 3 and Smudge at 4, it's the perfect lineup. And don't try to mess them two up too much. And I was happy to go out and do a job. But in terms of the other point, I try to, get off to a good start, but probably more subdued at most times and let the game come to me a little bit. And then when I feel like it's the right time and I feel like I'm in and seeing the ball well, then you try and put as much pressure on the opposition as you can. And that's not always going to come out in runs. For me, it might be a really positive leave, positive forward defence, looking for the runs and then trying to jump on anything that I can score on. But I was pleased with this week again. I was disappointed not to get a score or in the second innings not get a not out. Felt like with a little bit of luck in the first innings where I nicked one and got dropped, but then post that I felt like I put pressure back in the opposition. I felt like I got off to a nice start and set a really good platform with Jake. It'd be nice to go on with it and get one of those two starts to score, but also at the top of the order I felt like I was able to get off to a good start with Jake, get a good partnership going, and set it up for the guys behind us who had an exceptional first innings.
Mate, talk to us a little bit about Jake. You've grown up playing with him in South Australia, and it looks like now, since you've walked out to bat with him, he looks a lot more comfortable at the crease. His personalities looks like it's starting to come through. And the one thing I noticed the other day, he actually plays high quality, fast bowling really well.
Yeah, I think he's always been someone. So I've missed him for the last couple of years being in Tassie, so haven't been around as much. But if you go by the other 10 years that I've played with him, that he's a deep thinker of the game and he works extremely hard. He's up there with the sort of Marnuses and Steve Smiths of the world of hitting balls. Like when he'd sit in indoor centre all day and just grind away. And I know he's got a few different things, and I won't go into full details about what he does, but I think he's got a few things that sets him up really well for fast-paced bowling and reacting to that and what he does at training and how he goes about it. And it's different to the other two guys. Like, he doesn't face a lot of sidearm. He just faces a lot of bowling out of the hand. And he's got his method. But I agree. I think he's set up really, really well so far. And I think he's handled Test cricket so far really well with, the style of bowling he's facing. It's hostile. It's fast. Each of the guys that play for England at the minute are bowling high speeds, which I don't think you get a lot of in one team. You normally have one guy that you sort of got to get through. And but these guys, especially in Perth and Brizzy, they pushed hard, they bowled fast, they bowled aggressive, and I felt the way he's handled it so far, like he said, has been really, really positive. And his personality, he's a great bloke. He loves it. And we haven't had to talk too much out in the middle. I think we've just sort of, with our relationships that we've had over the years now, we've just gelled, and we just go out there and it's like we're batting it for the Sackers again. It's been good fun.
So it was fast in Brisbane from their opening bowlers, because there was a guy who came in at 4 in the second innings who didn't seem to think that they were bowling quick in the first innings when it all came out over the stump mic. But from your experience, you're not going to divert away from the fact that they're quick.
I thought the wicket was fast in the first innings, like faster. And for me, like I'm normally coming out with the ball a little bit older at the Gabba and haven't faced the new ball really as much as some of the other guys. So I actually thought the Gabba wicket had a bit of pace in it and a bit of and fast, and felt like they were getting it on in the first inning. I walked off and I walked past Mudge. Like, well, in my opinion, I think the wicket is a bit quicker than normal. They're bowling quite aggressively, but you're different. So you're probably not going to think that. So I just left you. That was my advice to him, because if I whatever I tell him, he's not going to be right, and it's not. I find things a lot quicker than what he does. So I was just like, my 2 cents. I think the wicket, it's got a good bit of pace in it. It's got good bounce. It's really, really nice wicket. But I feel like it's a bit quicker than what I've faced in the past in the Gabba. And then I said, but you can throw that in the bin and go out and do your thing. So that's what I left him with. He didn't think Perth was fast either, and I thought it was rapid.
Yeah. I mean, the opposition bowling could be bowling on a pane of glass, and he probably doesn't think it's quick when he's in the mood. Just where it got left, though, that test match, like all the commentary is, oh, wow, it's finally lit up and it's going to carry on to Adelaide. I'm kind of the opinion, guys, England have gone to Noosa for 5 days. You guys have gone to home ports. You've all gone to chill out. I don't think it's going to exactly carry over. Given how everyone shook hands and just got on with it, and everyone said after it, we'll leave it out there, between Joffa and Steve in particular, those words, nothing got carried on at all, did it? It kind of just was a cricket incident and gets dropped. Yeah,
nothing. Doesn't feel like anything got carried over. I think, if anything, if there's any little bit of motivation someone might bring, I think if that matchup come up again Thursday in Adelaide, there's no doubt. I don't know how Joffa operates, and he's a competitor. There's no doubt that this series, I reckon he's wanted to try to get as much as he can. So that's a matchup in the series, and as we'll go on in these 5 tests, as you guys know, there's storylines, there's matchups throughout 5 test matches series, which what makes it so great and so challenging. But there's matchups everywhere, and normally it's a bowler on a batter, and sometimes it's a batter on a bowler, and they've got a competitive thing going at the minute where let's see in 3 more test time. But no, there's no doubt everyone's going to come out motivated and energy. But like you said, the heat of it's going to die out of it, because we've got 10 days till we play. So, but the motivation will be there. Both teams will come out, and you want to start well on that first morning. So I think that's everyone's priority, is making sure we just come ready to go for that first morning in Adelaide again.
Trav, there's always a lot of theatre around an Ashes campaign because of the enormity of the event. And you guys couldn't have had a better start. Everything looks comfortable. You look like you might even be a better team in the 3rd test there's a chance a captain will be available. How do you put out of your mind what's going on outside with England? Is it hard not to read? Just you got to stay inside your bubble and worry about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I think you're worried about us as much as you can. There's definitely moments in games that you can pick up on certain things which might be going on in their dressing room, but ultimately, we can't control that. So I think this team's been really, really good at. And again, you look at the selection table. There's so many options that we had last test. The selection over the last couple, you look at the last couple of series, but over a period of time now that they've made some bold, big calls on some players. Whether that be the World Cups where they hang me around for a little bit, Mitch went home and come back and was never going to lose his spot. And you look at the Gaz has been the fallout for the last 2 pink ball tests, but going into each test just wanting to win that test, and that's all that we worry about, is what we can control in this test this week and what's the best lineup. And I think the selection and the attitude from everyone is that week, and that's all that matters. So in terms of picking up opposition staff and body language, or the feeling of a big Ashes series is is always in the back of your mind, but ultimately all you can control is that week. And now we move to Adelaide, and the team will look different again to try and win an Adelaide Test match. So that's exciting. And I think the team's in a great space for that style of playing, is that everyone is committed to the one cause. And look, it's not always going to fall in the right. We can't play 15 blokes. And we're talking about playing 15 blokes at the moment. Everyone's on names on the table. So it's bloody good. It's exciting. What a strong team. Everyone's committed, and everyone's committed to the cause, which is good.
You've been in teams like Travis just explained, where it's, okay, we all know our role. We'll just supplant it to the next venue and just play it simple. Just play what's in front of you. I know this sounds from a position of, we're 2-0 up and we can do that, but that simplification surely helps.
Yeah,
does it not?
I think looking at this group at the moment, and you just look at, like, there was a big decision for Trav to open, I think, but it was a simple process. Like, that doesn't disrupt the whole team. And as Trav just said there, they've got a squad of 15 guys here to win the Ashes. And it looks like from the outside, no matter who comes into the team, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, Trav, that everyone's comfortable with the 11. They're all know that's a big series in Ashes, and you need a squad of 15. And yep, Gazza missed last test. Yep, it was a pink ball test. He's missed the last two. He'll come back into Adelaide. But it looks like everyone's just completely comfortable with where their role is and what their role in the whole setup is.
Yeah, comfortable, and also, but at the same time, there's some the guy, they get filthy if they don't play. So there's no hiding around that. So they get comfortable because they I think what everyone's got is a great belief within the team and everyone's skill set, but also a belief within the selection and the coach and the captain. So everyone can see the path. Everyone's known the path for a while, and everyone knows the direction that the team wants to go, and the direction of each test and how we're going to win games. There's some bloody hard calls. There's no doubt about that. And then and Steve and the coaching staff and the selectors have made some tough calls in the first two tests. And but when you map it out the way they do, and you look at stats, and you've got so much on the table that you can go by, feel how you want to win a game, what style do you want to play. When that's all mapped up, it makes those decisions really easy. And like I said, with opening the batting again, it is an easier process because, one, we've already talked about it. There's a lot of things that we're doing at the moment has been talked about for a long time. It's just, when do you execute them? When do you do them? When's the right time to do it? When's the wrong time to do it? So everything's always been on the table. And then once you get a mature group and a group that has that backing of everyone, then things become more simple. And at the minute, like you said, we've got a strong squad. Things look more simple, and we crack on and try to do the best we can. It's not going to guarantee us that we always have a great week, but it puts you in a great position to try to do that.
Adelaide Test matches has always been one as past players where you put down on your calendar when you retire to say, I'm going to the Adelaide Test match. And it has a different feel when Trav comes out to bat. Like, as you know, Trav, everyone's out the back partying near the Lehman and statue, and it's a great time out the back. But that changes when you walk out to bat. The whole crowd comes up, the hill comes alive. But I tell you what, this week you might have some competition with that, with your little mate Alex Carey. Mate, how good was he last Test match? I wasn't allowed to ask that question to 5 in. I wanted to lead with Alex, but mate, how good was he?
No, it's always one Adelaide Oval Test. Yeah, the party test match of the summer. I'm responsible for all reunions going forward. I think as I end up in we're all finished. We're talking about golf and good wine, good food. And a good atmosphere. I think, I'll be responsible for most of those moving forward. And then, opening the batting,
well.
I don't think that opening the batting is I miss walking up on myself. So Alex gets to enjoy that because, they are very supportive, and it's always a great moment, that one, walking out of bat. But, if I am doing it this week again with Jake, we claim him as a South Australian. He come at an early age and played a lot of cricket. So I think the crowd will be very pumped up to see potentially both of us go out to bat, and then Kez will get a little red carpet appearance at 6. So, but he popper last week. His batting's I think gone to another level, but his keeping's gone underrated for a long time. I think he doesn't do much wrong. It's never been a question mark on his keeping, and what a week he had this week to change a play, to keep him in their crease, to come up to the stumps. The high ball was a ridiculous catch. That went that's one of the high balls I've seen in cricket, and to have Marnus chewing his ear off the whole way. To make a play like that, as Hads knows, is extremely tough. On a wicket, I did have some up and down movement and some seam movement in it every now and then, and not as consistent as it probably looked in the scorecards. But to make a play when Harry Brooks ramping and etc. Huge for him, huge game for him, and just gives him the confidence. And again, when you're catching him well behind, I don't know, well, I'm not a keeper, Hads will know, but when you're catching him well behind the stumps and you're not doing anything wrong, I think that flows in your batting sometimes. So he hopefully has another huge 3 Test matches, but I think his confidence will be high and he'll be it's great for him.
So, Trav, Heels, Hads, talking to them after what Alex was doing at 135, Scott Bowler, Michael Noosa standing up to the stumps, taking everything. They're like, wow. But were you like the rest of us going, how on earth, is this guy doing what he's doing? But you're out there watching it from like 10 steps away. What was it like to witness up front him doing that and looking so clean?
I've seen him do it heaps. So it was just like, I didn't even question. When he come up, it was just like, yep, no stress. Like, I don't think it was not in my mind that if we got a nick that he was gonna like the argument is he's actually got it swinging or moving a nick. Can we? I think he come up with the first couple of balls to Joe Root, and you're like, wow, if he nicks one, and not in your mind was you thinking, are you going to cost a little nick? Because it was just like, well, it's the right move. And again, with all these things we talk about, selection, decision making, it's the right thing to do. So do it. And if he has to drop it, he drops it. And if it but we're not going to worry about the bad side. So no, I didn't even in my mind cross me that if we had him up the stumps, it might cost us something. I thought it was only the right way to go. And his skill set means that it's an option. So it's great to have.
Have you faced Pat in the nets yet? And how's he going?
A little bit. 6 balls. He was bowling too good for me, so I got out.
You told him to get out, or you got out?
No. He's all right. He pitches them out. He looks after us. That's all right. So, but yeah, had him in Perth. Good. I think Weather's got him when obviously this is a couple of weeks ago. Daniel Drew facing for a couple of spells at AB Field this week, and he said it was off its head. So, which is good. He feels like he's going well. So. A big week for him and see who we get to, but all sounds like he's ready to go, which is exciting.
Shout out to England.
Good luck, he's batting at training. That's the scary. When he starts batting at training, it means he's half a chance to play. So
saw that.
He starts to work on his batting. So that might mean he's close. Yeah, he's real close then.
Trav, a lot of people can get distracted by the Barmy Army. I was watching you close the other day. It actually looked like you were the conductor of their band. You were singing along, and it looks like you were absolutely having a ball with them.
Oh, it was just it's loud enough. You hear it. You hear everything out there. And when they sing it for 2 hours straight, you sort of get stuck in your head. So tick it along with them, and it's a great atmosphere. It's good fun. So they've been there again. No disputing how passionate they are and how much they rock up and support their team. So each day, they've been well supported and they've had some catchy tunes so far.
Mate, I've seen the Barmy Army break players. I know in 2008-9 they went after Mitchell Johnson, and he didn't deal with it that well. Is it something you guys would speak about? I enjoyed the theatre of the Barmy Army. I think they add so much to the game, but it can at times go the other way to players, can't it?
Yeah, and I think you talk about it more in England. Because I feel like in Australia, like the hardcore cricket fan comes, if that makes sense, like the passionate England fan that respects the game. So like in Australia, I think as a player, well, only speaking for them, like I respect how they support their fans, their players, and how passionate they are. And you don't really get a bad side of them over here, I don't think. There's a couple of them here and there, but normally they're respecting the game. You can have a laugh with them. In England, it's probably a bit different when you get the whole Edgbaston, the whole Hollies, and there's only a small part of it, which is Barmy Army, that's just dragged into then the English fan that wants blood, basically. And then they can get pretty rogue. So I think you talk about it in England about who goes out there, what personalities do you send, who stands out in front of them all day, who can handle it. better than others, and who's going to stay on the job out there. And then in Australia, it's not much of an issue. Our support around them is huge as well. So, and I think they're probably a little bit more friendly in Australia than they are in the UK. So, nothing that you have to worry about too much in Australia.
Yeah, they're having a good time because the alternative for them is to go back and it's 6 degrees and the sun's coming up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
so I think
too many here. They might all be sitting in the back of the village green here, so they might not see too many. Might be enjoying the festive part of Adelaide Test match more than the cricket.
Hey, just with Adelaide, is it Adelaide or is it Adelaide Test match? Can you clear something up for us? Yeah,
it's the party Test match.
It is the Christmas Test match. It's the Christmas party Test match. That's what.
Whatever. There'll be a lot of people. There'll be a lot of people that won't be able to say too much probably about it after by the end of the day.
Not if you bat for any extended time.
No.
One thing, you skip a smudge. We interviewed him after the game in Brisbane, and his eyes were rolling still. Like he had that adrenaline going. Was he like that when he got back in the change room, or had he calmed down? But it looked like he absolutely loved that confrontation. I haven't seen that from Spin in a long time.
Yeah, no, he was up for it, wasn't he? Yeah, probably not. He's pretty up and about things. Yeah, he calmed down a little bit. I enjoyed when he's saying that short side, go bounce the plan, short side, low percentage, it is low percentage. And I was like, well, not. I love how he interprets the game sometimes. So we talk about fast wickets and him not thinking it's fast. I love that he thinks that fall back and 150 clicks to short sides, low percentage. So it's good. High percentage, it's fine. I can get it done. So, I did have a giggle at that when he was explaining how he's going about it. So, but good to see him with that energy. I felt like he batted really well in the first innings as well. I think he was pretty disappointed with how he got out, with how good a player he is, with his expectations as well. So good that it feels like he's got that hunger. He's moving really well. He's playing well, which is always good as a teammate to see him going about his work. And that little bit of motivation. Everyone takes it different ways, but that gives him a little bit out of extra coming into here, which is always good. But he seems to be going nicely.
Yeah, a lot of you, when you were coming off, I was down near there, and everyone was just filthy that they'd actually got out, because what did look like a good track when you guys were out there. It was daytime conditions for the most part, and like everyone got off to a start. But the flip side is that you managed to kind of nullify Ben Stokes to a point, although he batted very well in the second innings. Second innings, you got Joe Root early, but the first you didn't. Are those two like almost worth double? Those two at the moment. We know this going in, but Joe batted beautifully in that first innings.
Yeah, he did. They're hugely important to him. I think when you come to day 4 and Ben Stokes is still batting, you've still got in the back of your mind some of the things he's been able to do in his Test career, and it's probably been spoken about a lot by a lot of people in international career. He's probably the biggest clutch player the game's seen almost. So in big moments, you knew he's going to either turn it on its head or make you work extremely hard for it. So there's no surprise what he's able to do about on day 4 morning and make us work extremely hard for it. And I felt like we were close in the first innings with the bat to someone getting 150, 160. It was a disgusting looking scorecard with everyone on 60 and 70. But everyone did their job, and look, you hope that someone does go on and get a big 100 within that scorecard. I think that then means that we really, really drive the game. I think we probably let him sneak into the game a couple of times on that night when we batted. And if we want to be really ruthless and going forward, you'd love someone to get 100. But I felt everyone did their job. Everyone walked out of the middle with a purpose, with a game plan and a blueprint that one pushed a score rate along, and everyone went about their work. But hopefully in Adelaide someone goes on and makes it a really, really big match-winning performance. And like Starkey said, he's too old to do 2 jobs, he reckons. So is what he sent back at one stage. So it'd be nice if he just had to do 1 job and get all the wickets and the batter's got the runs for him.
We'll wait and see. It will be a great occasion. Travis said, thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy the home comforts of a home test, and hopefully you light it up in front of your home crowd, mate.
Always. Thanks for having me. Cheers, guys.
Travis Head on Willow Talk, and these chats are brought to you by Instant Tinting. Stay cool this cricket season. Visit instanttinting.com.au. We are off to a quick drinks break. Back in a moment with plenty more on Willow Talk. Had's back on Willow Talk. We didn't mention it up the top.
What? Back on Travis Head.
What?
That's Travis Head gold.
Oh, yeah.
How good is he?
Yes, exactly.
Do you reckon he's got any stress?
Not now.
No, I don't think so either.
Not when that little invoice drops for IPL duties and things like that.
Not even about that, but like...
No, he's found exactly how he gets the best out of himself. And in actual fact, as opposed to some other elite sportsmen, it's something that is very relatable to those watching.
Well, that's what I think they love him for. He's relatable to the typical Australian. And I was down on the sideline doing a bit during the break in the Test match. There was a group of about a couple of hundred. They had Travball hats on, and they spent hours and hours trying to get his attention. They had the 7-Eleven sunglasses on, and then when they couldn't,
Yeah.
I tell you what, they terrorised Ollie Pope.
Oh, poor
my
Ollie.
gosh! Like it was like, whoa. At some stage, it was about Mark Waugh's commentary. Ollie Pope was gold.
Just a player.
Oh, the way he took it, but it was relentless. I was down there for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And it did not stop. And I was watching them from the comm box.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop for the session after that.
How much are you enjoying going on TNT Sports UK, the television coverage at each break, just talking about where it's kind of not going right for England?
Oh,
You're talking up Australia, are you?
Well, I'm the only Aussie on there. I'm giving my non-biased view from where the Test match is at.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've never seen a happier man. Anyway, Mark Wood has gone home, unfortunately. That's big for England. Like this wasn't on their bingo card. They probably wanted to use Mark Wood in at least 3 of the 5 Test matches, and they don't have him to complement Jofra when Jofra feels like bowling at 150. Because Mark Wood is not the type of bowler who would rock up for a spell and go 130. So that's big.
Oh, they rolled the dice, haven't they, on Mark Wood with this tour. He hasn't played for 12 months. And watching him after Perth, he didn't have his knee strapped. The poor bugger had a knee brace on.
Yeah, he's done something significant.
So what's concerning is that he's had those 12 months out and we got a small sample size of what he's about in Perth. It's always disappointing to see the guys that can have a huge impact on a series not be available.
What about from a team perspective? Because everything I've learned about Mark Wood is that he's awesome in the change room. He's awesome to have on tour because he's just a happy human being. But you're 2-0 down and then he departs the scene. Not so much, bowling 150, but for when you need to stick really together, you don't have
those
around.
Plays. So I can question their planning, but what I'll say is I think they would have budgeted for Mark Wood not to be here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big a surprise that Wood's gone home. It's disappointing for the series because he's one of those guys. He's a bums on seats player, but
absolutely,
I think England, if they were truly honest, that they've rolled the dice to get him fit anyway.
He's a bum on pitch type player because of how he always falls over because he's giving so much for the course, but hopefully he gets better. Australia, so the lineup: George Bailey in Brisbane after the Nathan Lyon bombshell said he will play in Adelaide.
Yep.
Pat Cummins, as Travis Head mentioned there, bowling well, batting, fair indication. Mm-hmm. He comes back in. What does the 11 look like?
Great question. There's so many different ways you can go. Is Ness has played 3 Test matches, all pink ball. He's played a bit of cricket in Adelaide in the Big Bash. Doggett's done nothing wrong. His home port and Boland. Mate, we know what he can do. So you talk about load management. Pick your best team here. I think they will. I think they'll worry about where the loads and that Test 4 and 5. Mate, I expect obviously Cummins and Lyon to come in. You got Stark and then they got Bowler to play. Yeah, there could be a train of thought where do you give Bowler a break with Cummo coming
They're
back.
not going to do it in the fourth test, I'd imagine.
Well, you can't do it in.
Otherwise, you won't get into Victoria.
Yeah, you don't want to do it at the MCG, but and go with Ness's or Doggett's hot hand. But I expect these conversations would have been happening day one of the second test. So, but what about the luxury of you're 2-0 up, and you bring arguably our best fast bowler and the goating? How good.
Not bad. You got Jai Richardson floating about after taking a few wickets up in the Australia A game.
Keep him
against
quiet for the
England
moment.
Lions.
He could play a role.
He could play a role as well. Top of the order, Usman Khawaja is doing his best out there before each day's play, trying to get over the back injury. It must be an injury, not just spasms, as Hads gets another message from the producers at TNT Sports to say loving your work on the UK coverage. The batting lineup, I can see a world in which the top 7 remains the same, and then Cummins and Lyon in. Can you? Inglis keeps your spot. What do you reckon?
Oh, the only one there is, do you bring Bo Webster in to give you more bowling options? But Nathan Lyon comes in there. Paddy deepens the batting as well. He can come in at 8. And they got a decision on what happens with Usman. Obviously, at the start of the summer, he was our premier opener, but I think the way Travis Head and Jake Weatherall have lit up that opening spot, that there's conversations will be had about that now. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go. I seen some comments from actually Andrew McDonald that said Aussie doesn't have to open, and Aussie has spent a lot of his career in the middle order, so I don't.
Made his test debut, wasn't it?
Yeah,
from memory.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but the good thing about it, we know Cummo will come back in, and we know Lyon will come back in, and it'll be tough to change that opening partnership.
Captaincy.
Pat.
Yes, Pat will be captain.
Yep.
He will have the blazer on at
No
the
doubt.
toss.
And he should be.
Captaincy when we're fielding. Who has control?
Pat.
Absolute control?
Absolute control.
Stephen's done pretty well so far.
Stephen's always done well. There's never, ever been a question about how tactically good Stephen is. But that just because he doesn't have the C next to his name, it doesn't mean he won't contribute to that. Pat's done a wonderful job as well with his leadership. But if you watch them closely, he uses Steve Smith a lot.
From slip, Pat's usually at mid-on, mid-off.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they're not in communication. They would have spoken a lot about different game plans, and sometimes it's just the look to say, "Oh, remember? Okay, yep," and then you go back and you have a chat to your bowlers. So Paddy comes straight back in. He takes the captaincy over. Steve Smith's perfect record as captain when he replaces Paddy continues, but he will play a role. So will Marnus. So will the wicketkeeper. So will Starkey. But it's Paddy's team.
Ben Stokes. Can you see him at 3?
Well,
and put Bethel down at 6?
Well, there's definitely a conversation that could happen. But the other thing with that is we've had the same conversation with Cameron Green with their bowling loads. You only have to watch the way Stokes goes about it and the effort he puts in the field and with the ball. So if you put him at 3, that might take away from that part of his game. And I don't think England can afford to take that part of his game away. He could, but I don't think he will.
What's your percentage chance? You know, the CricViz predictor or whatever it is with England winning the series.
No, that won't happen.
0.
Yeah.
What's less than 0? What about drawing the series?
No, that won't happen either.
Okay. So there's no percentage. It just won't happen.
Mate, they might have broken them.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will. We will see. But there was a lot of harsh words said after that test match. And there was a few things that happened on the field that you'll question that when you get back into your change room. And he said, I don't want weak men in Australia. So he's talking about someone.
Yeah.
Or a group, but he's talking about something. So how harsh those words were there. What's happening behind closed doors there?
We always get the watered down version in public.
Well, that wasn't watered down.
That wasn't, but it could have got more harsh behind closed doors. What I know, though, is that, and you would have been in this situation as well with multiple teams that you played in, when teams are in this situation, it goes one or two ways.
Yep.
It splits apart bad.
Yep.
Or there's a complete turnaround in mentality and everyone is fully galvanised, and by the time they rock up for the next one, they are so on the same page. It'd be fascinating to see. We'll know after 2 days.
Well, it'd be interesting if they're on the same page, because Ben Stokes challenged their bowlers of not bowling to plans. So you've got to have a listen to what was said there. There's some harsh statements. It's the first time, I think, in this Brendan and Stokes era where it just doesn't look like they're on the same page publicly. And they always have.
Yep.
So, yeah, they've got some conversations that need to be happening and see how they respond. But, mate, he said, I don't want weak men in Australia.
I heard it. We'll see what rocks up in Adelaide.
Well, we see how you responded, and we'll talk more about it later when you were challenged about your touring habits.
Yeah.
You sulked, and then you got on with it.
I did not.
But we'll talk about later when Heels. Oh, that's debatable. We'll talk about what that means when we get Heels back.
There's one thing this Ashes has brought up, and it's that everyone can agree on certain matters. And one matter is very much apparent, that Macca's in a lunch break this summer is a very good thing. This is the unsung hero of the match, thanks to Macca's moment that we've got on Willow Talk, that we'll look back on Brisbane. And one thing that we can agree on here, Hads, and I'm going to throw it up, thanks to Macca's. And in the postscript of the whole Test match, so many things happened.
Yep.
But what about Josh Inglis and the run out of Ben Stokes? That's what I've landed on here for this particular segment.
I can't agree more. And going through what moments, and you have the batting, the bowling, mate, Archer turning up. Oh, there's a pommy outside.
It's James Graham, rugby league great James Graham,
crying.
Oh no, yeah, exactly.
Mate.
Sorry, you were saying Josh Inglis run out of Ben Stokes.
Well, I thought about Steve Smith's catch, Alex Carey pawing up to the stumps, but Josh Inglis, a wicket keeper, the way he ran Brooke out, one stump to hit. Mark Waugh showed how easy it was, but it wasn't easy, mate. That's Ash's moment just there.
It was so good. For a moment there, I just went, Jonty Inglis. Like, that was prime Jonty Rhodes. That, and the next morning, of course, on the Fox coverage.
He didn't hit the stumps. I thought Ponting, Simons, Clark, they hit the stumps.
Mark Waugh the next morning on Fox screen. What about
that? What about sitting there? We were watching. I was on with Jack, and we could see them setting them up, and everyone looked and said, Mark Waugh's arse enough to hit these stumps. He had his RM Williams on, mate. The
Peter Jackson suit,
slippery soles, wasn't the rubber RM Williams sole. Picked it up, and mate, no one was shocked. Then Michael Vaughan had a go, and he couldn't hit the side of a barn, but no one was shocked with Junior's skill, mate. He was the best to play with. He was a natural catcher, and I think people don't quite remember how good he was, but how good was that?
WBBL finals, it's on this week. Our captain is playing in the Challenger Sydney. They will take on Perth Scorchers, so Sophie Devine and co, and Beth Mooney and co, heading over from Perth to play at North Sydney Oval, which may be underwater by the time they play. So as we sit here recording this, it hasn't stopped. It hasn't started raining, but looking at Thursday's forecast, it doesn't look like it's going to stop. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm ahead.
Sixers fans.
Well, I've already said Sixers are in the final.
Okay.
And I thought they were going to play Renegades.
Yeah. But they'll be off to Hobart. The winner of Perth Scorchers and Sydney Sixers will head to Hobart for the final on Saturday. Big Bash Men starts this weekend as well. Perth Scorchers take on the Sixers on Sunday. You give us a couple of players to watch?
Well, I will give you a couple of players. I think Cooper Connolly.
Yes.
I think after the exposure he's got over the last 12 months, he's about to shine. I think he's going to have a huge big bash. Harry Dixon.
Mhm.
He'll bat at the top of the order, I'd imagine, for the Renegades. He's a David Warner style of opener. So watch him. I think another big player for the Carnival, he won't be flashy, but he'll contribute when he needs to. Watch Sam Curran.
Yep.
In the role the Sixers use him. I think he's going to add so much to that group. Ashai Freedy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason he will love bowling up at Brisbane. The ball will swing, the bounce, and with Spencer Johnson out now, I think he's going to be an absolute gold up there with the Heat. My leading run scorer for the tournament is Sam Consis.
Interesting.
I think he's got 100 the last Shield game, and I just expect he's not worried about Test selection now.
Yeah.
He's got a block now that he can prepare for 2020 cricket only. He's got some really solid old heads around him in Sam Billings and David Warner. I just think he's going to light up this big bash.
There you go. That will get a run if it comes off, and it'll get a mention if it doesn't in future episodes. Babar Azam, by the way, would love to be playing with Steve Smith. He's landed, and it's good to see Babar Azam in the Big Bash as well, playing for the Sydney Sixers. And Freddie, as you mentioned there, looking forward to getting up to the Gabba and sending down some jets. By the way, just before we round it out, there was a weird moment in Dubai where Nicholas Pooran didn't stump a player because it was beneficial to his side not to get him out. And then the team actually retired, said batter straight away.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. There used to be a lot of talk, don't get him out, drop the catch, like with just in banter on the field. I don't think I'd have it in me not to take the bails off.
It goes against everything, every fibre of your being, does it?
Yeah. And I would also be worried about, if you retire them, are they allowed to come back later?
Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah,
actually.
well, take that away anyway. I just would not be able to take the bails.
So it was Max Holden, who was the man told by the dugout, off you come. He's 42 off 37.
Yeah.
It's not like he was going like 10 off 20.
Yeah.
But he obviously couldn't hit the ball when his team needed him to hit the ball big.
I understand it. It's clever thinking. It shows that they're out there thinking tactically about the game. I couldn't do it.
I can relate to Max, though, not being able to hit the ball after playing in a match a couple of weeks ago at North Sydney Oval. I actually couldn't see the ball, so that's why I couldn't hit it.
You actually turned around. Maybe Max said the same. Get ready for a stumping.
Stumping coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
made the wicketkeeper feel good about herself.
True.
That was the main thing. Hads, that's us. We'll be back early next week when Heels is with us. Maybe victorious as a WBBL champion. Maybe not.
Mate, put Heels up the top for the finals. This is where Heels comes to shine.
Yep. Looking forward to that. And don't forget the Gilly episode over the weekend. So we're looking forward to putting that one out as well.
Don't forget there's a third Ashes test coming if anyone forgets about it.
Yeah. In Adelaide, by the way. Get your tickets out now. Oh, no. They're probably sold out. Cheers, Hads. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.